Welcome to Our Life Simplified. I'm Laura, and Todd is my husband. On this channel, we share our journey of transforming our 5-acre property into a Tuscany-inspired mini homestead and peaceful outdoor oasis. From DIY builds and garden projects, to raising chickens and culinary adventures, including cooking, baking, and grilling, and everything in between. We are creating a space that's both functional and charming, one intentional step at a time. Welcome to our home.
All right, today we're gonna make some Serrano pepper sauce. I've got about 1 pound of Serrano peppers, and I'm going to char these in the oven so that they're blistered and black, and we're gonna do that to kind of release some of the sugars in them and improve the flavor.
Would it be more considered like a roasting versus a charring?
I'm gonna roast them until they're blistered on top. I'm gonna put them in at 400 degrees and blister them. Then I'm going to chop these up rough and add some onion, about 1 small onion, some garlic.
Did it chop it up even more than that? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna rough chop the onion.
Okay.
The garlic I'll leave whole. All of this will get blended together later. What we're gonna do is ferment these and make a fermented pepper sauce. And it's gonna be, all of this will be fermented together for anywhere from 14 to 30 days. You can let it go as long as you want, but some of the pepper sauces go for years. This is the kit I'm gonna use. It's from Amazon. We'll put a link in the description box. I've been reading a lot about fermenting to make pepper sauces, so I want to try some different pepper sauces. I've got some Tabasco peppers, some habanero peppers, Thai chili peppers.
Yes.
So we're gonna make some different pepper sauces. All of them will be fermented. I'm gonna follow a fermenting process. I'll talk about some of the things that I'm using as we go through this. I'm gonna use some specific salt, pink Himalayan salt. That's because you want to use non-iodized salt. Gonna add some flavors to it like cumin seed, and you'll see me use the scale because we have to weigh out the exact amount of salt to get the correct brine. Everything's been washed and sterilized first. We don't want to accidentally get any bad bacteria growing. So that's natural spring water that we're using there. Doesn't have chlorine in it. That's important as well.
Didn't you mention no fluoride also?
No fluoride, no chlorine. You just want plain natural spring water. So I'm gonna get with it, chop up this onion, gonna roast these peppers, and we'll move on from there.
Okay, what's the temperature for the peppers and how long?
400 degrees until the peppers are charred. I don't know how long that'll take, maybe 20 minutes. Okay, so briefly, this is a nice kit to start with. I did some research, it's highly rated.
And this is our first time using it.
Yeah, so what this comes with is you don't get the jars. This is the large wide mouth one, but you get these burping caps so that you don't have to open it all the time and get the gases out. You get this, I'll call it a masher, but it's to help push everything down in the jar because you have to make sure that your brine constantly stays above whatever you're brining. And then it comes with these weights as well. And the weights are what you're gonna set on top of whatever it is that's in your brine. In this case, it's gonna be peppers.
So this is the unboxing.
This
First
is what it
time
looks like.
opening.
Got instructions and things like that.
Oh, what's this?
And then this
those are the
these are the caps
the
that have a
burping
burping
things.
nipple on them. These are the weights that go inside. And then this is the masher to help mash everything down in the jar. Really good. So got that. Handy tools.
And you also got a couple of other
these
things
are some
here.
other things that I got. Some hot sauce books, some pickling and fermenting because I want to make kimchi. I want to make some other fermented vegetables. The good thing about fermenting, why a lot of people do it, super high in probiotics. So if you ferment things, you're getting good probiotics in whatever you ferment. And the more I learn about this, people ferment all kinds of things. So in this case, I'm making pepper sauces, but I do like kimchi, so I'm going to try to make kimchi as well.
Okay. And then you also got a pH meter for food.
Very important. So when you're fermenting things
or canning
things
and other things,
it's good to know the pH. For these, you want the pH to be down around 3.5. So I'm going to be checking the pH.
What is the range? You read about a range for that.
It can go as high as 4.6, but really for a good shelf stable, you want like around the 3.5, 3.6 pH range. So we'll do that when it comes time. I'll get that out when I start to bottle it.
Can I use that in my soil too?
Yeah, you can use this. I mean, you could check your pool water. You can check food. You can
Your
check
urine.
anything you want to check pH with. But.
Okay, so let's get this to temp. We'll put the peppers in the oven and we'll tell you how long it took to do the whole roasting process.
Okay, I have cooked these 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Got a little bit of char on them.
So it's perfect timing. We thought maybe we were going to have to do the broiler, but it worked at 20 minutes.
Fine. Now I let them cool for a little while.
About 20 minutes maybe, 20, 30 minutes.
20, 30 minutes. Cool enough that I can handle them. I don't want them to be hot. You can use gloves when you handle these peppers. I would recommend, depending on how much you can take heat-wise.
Or what if you touch yourself in places that...
Right, you want to be careful with that. So these are nice and charred. Got some good char on them.
Beautiful.
Then I'm going to rough chop these up, take the stems off of them.
And the garlic and the onions already rough chopped, so basically, did you just crush these?
Yeah, I crushed them whenever I took the skins off. That's how I
And then
take
these
the
are
skin
just chopped. All right, so you are popping the
stems off.
stems
I'm
off.
gonna leave the seeds on these. So one of the things about this, roasting these, you will kill the good bacteria off of these, and some of that
Along with the bad.
along with the bad, but you will kill the good bacteria, and that's necessary for fermenting. So if you're gonna do roasting, you may want to go 50-50 with your peppers. Roast half of them, don't roast the other half, so you still have some peppers with the good bacteria to start your fermentation. Or, as I'm gonna do, add onions, garlic, other vegetables that will have that good bacteria on it.
That's fresh.
That's fresh, right? And I did not roast those for that reason, because I want to make sure I've got some good bacteria. People say that the bacteria exists everywhere, it'll start out, but I just want to be on the safe side. I want to make sure I've got some good bacteria in there to do the fermentation process. So I'm going to use those fresh vegetables in with the brine that I'm going to make to ferment these. So I've got 1 quart jar here. I'm going to start putting all this stuff in there together. Got the peppers. Of course, the seeds are left in them because we're going to strain all this out later.
What's the purpose of the seed staying
So a
in?
lot of people think the heat comes from the seeds. That's not true. The heat comes from the membrane inside the pepper. So you can remove the seeds if you want. It's a lot of extra work. It's not necessary. So I'm leaving everything on there because I'm going to blend this all together later and then strain it out. So we'll strain out all this mash and get all of the liquid out, which will be the pepper sauce.
And this is the information based on everything that you've researched.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research. There's a lot of different things. There's a couple of things that are for sure you need to do, which is make sure that you have clean, sterilized stuff. You don't want any bad bacteria growing in there that you didn't plan for. So we're gonna do that. A little bit of onions and peppers in there. Keep going. Obviously, you don't want your mash to get spoiled. And the most important thing of all this is making sure that your brine has the right salinity level. So there's different brines you can make for different things, but for these peppers, peppers do have somewhat of a tendency to want to spoil. So 3.5% salt brine. I've seen it anywhere from 2 to 10. Of course, it will be saltier if you do that, but 3.5 seems to be about the best spot from all the research I've done. 3.5% salt, and I'm going to show you how we're going to come up with that number here in just a second. So I've got everything in there, got the peppers in there, the onions in there, garlic in there, and this is what's going to be our fermented pepper sauce. The next thing we're going to do is fill this with natural spring water. Okay, going to make sure that that's up all the way above that, nice and high, to where we know it'll be over the top of all the peppers when we put our weight in there. Okay. Now, like I said, I've watched a lot of people do this, done some research. Pretty slick way to do this, because this is what we're going to calculate the salt from. So we want to know what the weight of the peppers and the water is to get the correct salt in there. So we're gonna weigh this, and I've watched a few people do this different ways. The one I saw that was the best was they take the same jar.
Same size jar.
Same size jar. I'm gonna put this on here.
By the way, these scales are amazing.
We're gonna tear that out. So now, when I replace it with this jar, I'm gonna get the exact weight. Okay.
1 pound, 13 ounces?
Yeah, actually I'm gonna do this in grams, okay? So, 821 grams, that's the weight of the peppers and the water, 821. So what I said earlier is we want 3.5% salt brine. So we're gonna take that 821 and see what 3.5 grams percent is. 3.5% salt.
Okay, so we'll do the calculations.
Take 821 times 0.035. I need 28.7. I'm going to round up 29 grams of salt in this brine.
Okay. Pop.
Okay. So now I'm going to put a little dish on here. I'm going to zero this out.
So we teared it out. Now we have the Himalayan salt. Turn it around, let's see it again. Other side. Pink, the Himalayan pink salt.
Okay, so now I'm gonna weigh out 29 grams. This is a very important part of that. Okay, 30, good enough.
So what happens if you have too much salt?
Too much salt is not a problem. Too little salt is a problem. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a strainer. I'm gonna strain some of this liquid out of here. I have to have all of it.
So you have to do the whole process where the water does go in with the
Yes. So I'm gonna take
vegetables.
that.
Because that's the only way to get that ratio.
Correct.
Okay, so a little bit of water, the Himalayan salt.
Yep, I'm gonna stir this up good. Make sure this salt gets good incorporated into that spring water. So I've got my 3.5% salt solution in there. Now I'm gonna take the weight. I'm gonna set this weight right on top.
What about the burper thing?
Actually, this probably, oh, it did work. Okay, good.
Oh,
I was
so just
afraid I
drop
was gonna
some
have to take a little water out of there, or a little brine. So now that weight will keep all of the vegetables below the brine level, which is very important. So
I noticed some of them are popping up.
I might get it.
Oh, they keep popping up.
Get a
So
spoon,
maybe
get
the
a couple of
bigger
them.
the chunks, the better.
Probably.
So this is our first time doing this. If we can do it, you can do it. That's why we're showing you.
Yeah, I'm not an authority on this, but I have done a lot of research before I started out on it.
And Todd's very good at research.
Yeah, I try to make sure I understand what I'm doing before I get into it.
As an engineer, you have to know how to do that.
So
but that falls over into the cooking, the hobby of cooking.
Okay. So the important part of this is keep the vegetables below the brine level. That's what makes it safe. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wipe this off first to make sure I don't have anything on there. Okay, so with like any canning or anything like that, right, you wanna make sure you have a nice clean surface around here.
And this is a fantastic way for preserving vegetables that maybe you have an overflow of, or if you just like the idea of preserving this type of
Trying
way.
different stuff.
Okay.
I forgot something.
Oh, what'd you forget?
I forgot to put my
Cumin in?
cumin in there.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
is there a particular measurement for that?
yeah, half a teaspoon.
Okay, we're keeping it real. We're showing you.
Yep.
He accidentally forgot a step.
I forgot to put some cumin in there. You don't have to do this. It's just something I wanted to do as part of this recipe I'm making. So I'm gonna put about a half a teaspoon of cumin in here because I like cumin and it's a good flavor. So I want that in there. I'm gonna kind of push that down in there to incorporate it into some of the brine. I think that'll give it a nice flavor when it's done.
Okay.
So I've added some cumin to it now. I'm gonna put my weight back on. Hold everything down. Okay. Just a couple little pieces off of here, not like that.
If you've done this before, is it okay to leave just the few little pieces like that up there?
I think it is,
But we're just, since this is the first time,
Yeah,
better safe than sorry. But if you're an expert at this, please let us know.
yeah. Okay.
Let us know how you do this.
Now I'm gonna put my burping lid on there and my ring. I didn't have to use my masher because I had plenty of room, so that was good. I could have used the masher
That was
to
the
push
masher.
it down more, but I did not.
Okay.
Now we're just gonna set this in I'm gonna put it in a cabinet, but it needs to be between 55 and say, I think 72 or 75 degrees. So you wanna keep it in a cool place. And
For how long?
2 weeks, 14 days on. Sometimes they will do this, it can be up to a year. Tabasco sauce company, they let theirs age for a year in oak barrels.
So what
the neat
happens?
thing about this is, I'm going to show this.
Well, hold on. Is this? Do you have to shake it every so often?
No.
Okay, so no shaking. It's
all you
not
have-
like the other. It's not like making the homemade extract like I've made before.
No, this will start to gas in a
tinctures.
couple of days. This will start to, the bacteria will start working. It'll create gas. It'll push any air out of here, which makes it the right environment. Is you have no air left in here. The gases will continue to push the air out.
Which is the fermentation process.
Right. This little opening right here will allow the air to
it's
come
like a
out
nipple.
of there. It's like a nipple.
Oh.
And that keeps you from having to open this. You can do it without this. You can do it with cheesecloth. It's a pretty slick way of doing it. I've seen this is highly rated. So now we're going to let this set for a couple of weeks and just ferment. We're going to try some other pepper sauces after this.
So we're just going to place it in this cabinet along with, I still have some vanilla extract brewing and a basil tincture.
Okay, now's the cleanup. Till next time.
Thank you for watching. Oh, stay tuned if you want to see how it turns out. Be sure to like and subscribe and tell us what your favorite recipe is or what your favorite pepper sauce is down below.